is up, you guys? FilmFan0599 here again, and today we're going to review Spider-Man Far From Home. So Spider-Man Far From Home stars Tom Holland, Jake Gyllenhaal, Zendaya, and Samuel L. Jackson. And what this film is basically about, it's about, it is, kind of just taking place after the events of Endgame, and, Peter Parker is going through a lot. There's a lot of stress on him to become the next Tony Stark, and, just a lot of responsibility is being put on him. And, just to kind of ease his mind off a little bit, he decides to go on vacation with his classmates. Doesn't really turn much of a vacation for our titled hero. So, what did I think of Spider-Man Far From Home? Now, I was obviously very excited for this movie because Spider-Man is probably my favorite character in all of medium, and I'm always excited for, whenever this guy gets a new movie. So obviously I was excited there, but this was going to take place months after the events of Endgame, and I was just really excited to see how, because Spider-Man to me is the most important character in this series right now. A lot of because he was Tony Stark's protege, so there was a lot of, to be on Spider-Man. So I was very interested to see how they were going to handle that in this, and we were finally going to see Mysterio on the big screen, so I was excited. There was a lot to be excited about for Far From Home. And I will say this, it did execute on a lot of those things really well, in my opinion, because I did really enjoy Spider-Man Far From Home. I think it is a very good Spider-Man movie in my opinion, and I very much enjoyed it. So, enough of me rambling on. Let's get into why I enjoyed it so much, with of course the positives first. So, let's get right into them, shall we? Alright, so first being with my positives are the acting. I thought the acting was really good, honestly, in this movie. I thought everyone did a pretty solid job in this film. I thought everyone was, really good here. First being, of course, Tom Holland as Peter Parker / Spider-Man. He is definitely, proving why he is one of the best actors to play this character. I very much enjoyed him in this movie. I thought he did a really great job. Seeing Peter having to have this pressure on him to really step up to the plate now more than ever because, Tony Stark is no longer with them, in these movies. And, he was kind of the heir to his throne in a way. So we see a lot of that pressure being put onto Peter, and it's overwhelming him a bit. He's like, I'm just a friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. Like, I don't know if I can take this, and we see that throughout the movie. I think they do a really great job with that, and Tom Holland really, shows it in his performance. He does a really great job with it, honestly. I very much enjoyed him in this movie. I thought he gave a really good performance here, and I thought he did a really fantastic job, honestly. I thought, he did a great job here. Like, I really enjoyed him as Peter Parker / Spider-Man in this film. Jake Gyllenhaal as Quentin Beck / Mysterio. Man, did he do a really solid job here in this film. I thought he did a really good job. He's hamming it up at points, but you want to know something? It was kind of funny, I'm not going to lie. But I did enjoy him in the film. I thought, he was very compelling as a villain. Anytime him and Spider-Man would face off with each other, it was intense as hell. I really loved it, honestly. So yeah, I'd say Jake Gyllenhaal really did, give it his all here. I did think, he was really, really well cast as Mysterio, and I very much enjoyed him in the film. Zendaya is actually really great here too, honestly. Like, I really enjoyed her in Homecoming, but here, I think she did an even better job, to be honest. I really enjoyed her in this film. I thought she did a great job, and she really, really stepped up, honestly. Because, like I said, I liked her in Homecoming, but I thought she did a better job here, honestly. I enjoyed her a lot more as a character this time around in this film, to be honest. Like, I thought where, they headed with her character and stuff like that, especially with Peter, was really great. I actually really enjoyed her here. Samuel L. Jackson's great, too. I really enjoyed him in this film. Everyone else, like Jon Favreau, to, Marissa Tomei. I thought everyone did a really good job here. I actually thought the acting was really great here, to be honest. I thought everyone did a pretty solid job. The action sequences are great. I really enjoyed the action sequences in this film. There are some really, really solid sequences. One in particular that is really spectacular, in my opinion. I'm figuring I know a lot of people know which one I'm talking about, and it's really great. Definitely one of the best sequences we've not only gotten in an MCU movie, but a Spider-Man movie in general. So, yeah, I really enjoyed the action sequences here in the film. Anytime Spider-Man and Mysterio would fight off against each other was honestly intense as hell, and I really enjoyed it. So, yeah, I thought the action sequences were really good. The comedy is really solid too. I thought this movie was very funny. In my opinion, I didn't think it was nearly as funny as Homecoming, but I still thought it was pretty funny, to be honest. I did laugh, at a good portion of the film, especially when JB Smoove. Every time JB Smoove was on screen, he literally made me die of laughter. Comedic wise, he was the star of the show. Like, seriously, I loved him in this movie. Like, I thought every time, he would crack a joke, I thought it was hilarious. Like, so, yeah, every time he would crack a joke, it was absolutely hilarious. So, yeah, in terms of comedic wise, he was definitely the show stealer. So, yeah, I thought the comedy, for the most part, was really good here. And like I said before, with MJ, take her into some directions with Peter, and I enjoyed their chemistry with each other. Honestly, I thought Tom Holland and Zendaya actually had some really great chemistry with each other. I actually quite enjoyed them. Their romance was actually really good here. I actually very much enjoyed it. And it definitely gave me, vibes of, like, say, the Raimi trilogy with, how Peter and Mary Jane were in that movie. And I thought they did a really great job with that, to be honest. I very much enjoyed it. It was, it was quirky, it was, kind of awkward, but that's what makes Peter and MJ's relationship great, is that, and that's just one of the qualities that makes it great. I actually thought they did a really great job with that in this film, to be honest. The writing is really good, in my opinion. I thought the writing was pretty solid in the film. The directing is very good here too. I thought the movie was very well shot, in my opinion. The cinematography is really gorgeous, in my opinion. I really like the cinematography here. The editing is pretty good too. And I also like how they use the European environments in this movie, to be honest. Definitely some of the best use of location in an MCU movie and a Spider-Man movie, to be honest. Like, I generally just think they do a really good job of also using the European locations for this movie for a lot of the action sequences and a lot of the set pieces. I actually liked how they did that in this movie. The pacing's really good too. I thought, the movie moved at a nice, natural pace. The movie's 2 hours and 9 minutes. And I thought, for those 2 hours and 9 minutes, they did a very good job. The movie moved at a nice, natural pace. I was very invested into the story. So yeah. And the visual effects, before I forget, the visual effects are great. Especially when it came to Mysterio. The Mysterio effects look absolutely fantastic. Definitely some of the best visuals I have seen all year. Now, I do have a few negatives, not too many, but I do have a few negatives with this film, and I'm going to get into those right now. So, first being, sometimes the comedy isn't all that great, to be honest. Like, for the most part, like I said, I did laugh at a good majority of the comedy, but there are some points where the comedy just doesn't work for me, honestly, especially with Betty and Ned. I thought just kind of where they were going, like, it was cute at first, it was cute and funny, but then it kind of just got repetitive after a while, and I was just not really laughing as much at it. I was like, okay, and there's some other moments too where I just don't think the comedy works all that well, and it's just like, okay, only some points. Like I said, for the most part, I did laugh at a good majority of the comedy in this film, but there are some points where I'm not really laughing at it. There's this side thing with Mary Jane and Peter involving this other guy as well that is catching some feelings for MJ as well, and I wasn't really all that invested into it, to be honest. Like, I felt like that was just used. I felt like that character, the guy that is also going after MJ, I felt very much like a plot device, to be honest. I felt like that whole story was just to give something for Peter to even want to try to get, with MJ even more, to be honest. And it just wasn't really that great. It was kind of like just boring every time I watched it. And also the guy that plays, that guy that's trying to get with her is not really that good either in this movie. I thought his acting wasn't really the best in the film. So yeah, I didn't really enjoy that element of the movie all that much. I thought it was just used for just like a plot device sake, to be honest. And lastly, as much as I enjoyed Mysterio as a villain, I do think he is a really great villain in this movie. I've heard a lot of people complain about this, and I really agree with them. His motivation is just like, really? Like, it's just really generic in my opinion. Also, like, it's also another one of those things where it's like, really? We're going down this route again? It's kind of like one of those things, to be honest. I felt it was very thrown together, to be honest. Like, his motivation, I felt it was very thrown together. Like, it was like, oh, okay. Like, it didn't, really, this is the reasoning why he wants to destroy the world and whatever. Like, it's kind of dumb, in my opinion, as well. Like, I'm kind of like, okay, this is the reason he wants to take over the world. Okay. But, I just thought his motivation wasn't really the best, in my opinion. It felt really generic and it felt generic, thrown together, and kind of dumb, in my opinion. But like I said, I'm not taking anything away from Mysterio as a villain, because like I said, Jake Gyllenhaal was really great. And I did think he was a compelling villain, especially whenever, him and Spider-Man would fight off. But just his motivation wasn't the best, in my opinion. So overall, Spider-Man Far From Home is a very good movie, in my opinion. I very much enjoyed this film a lot. I wouldn't say I love it nearly as much as maybe some people have, and this may come as a surprise for some people, considering, how much I do love the character of Spider-Man. But, like I said, it's very good. I do enjoy it a lot. There are some elements that I really do enjoy with this film. Sure, I got my issues with the film a little bit, but overall I would say it is a very enjoyable movie. It is definitely another solid entry into the franchise of the GOAT of all superheroes, in my opinion, of course. So it's time for my official grade on Spider-Man Far From Home, and my official grade on Spider-Man Far From Home is a B+. It's a very good movie, in my opinion. I very much enjoyed this film a lot. There are some really good stuff here, especially when it came to the character of Spider-Man, and a lot of the action set pieces, and a really solid villain, in my opinion. So yeah, I very much enjoyed Spider-Man Far From Home, and it definitely deserves a B+. So if you have seen Spider-Man Far From Home, what did you think of it? Please leave it in the comment section below. And I'm FilmFan0599, and we will see you all later. Peace.